Hey everyone, I'm back with just another candy, just unboxing or whatever. Also, I made some new discoveries I want to share. I need to correct two mistakes I made in my last video, so I'm going to tell you what those are. I made a little discovery about Bazooka Gum comics, and there's another discovery I want to talk about in this box. Before I get to all that and while people are coming in, let me just show you a couple things. This is what the old Genie Fruit Punch thing looks like, cleaned, perfectly clean. Everything came out perfect. It's still drying, and this is like day 3, so I might have to use a hair dryer. But with a lot of these candy items, are just well, this is a drink, but they're super easy to clean. It's pretty rare that I ever can't get a stain out. I mean, off of plastic, it's always going to come out, but that's what that looks like cleaned. Yeah, but everything that you've seen in some past videos has all been cleaned. And yeah, so let me start. So I'm going to start with the two mistakes. So last video I made two mistakes. The first mistake was with the Sweet Expressions candy line. So just to remind you, they look like this. I can't grab it. Okay. I said I looked up the trademark. I meant to tell you these are from 1986. What's really cool, I guess, or for a collector, not for them, their company did not last very long, and so they're super easy to date. They're always going to be mid-80s. By the way, I've only been able to find 3 Sweet Expressions from this candy line. The Skate, the Lantern, and also this guy, this Santa, is a Sweet Expressions. So all these are from 86, 87, maybe 88 at the most, but I would always say 86. Because if you look up any trademark for them, it says 86. And they didn't last very long. So I'm wondering what else is out there for this candy line. I don't know if many people are interested in that but me, but this is kind of my world, candy novelty. Let's put those up. So that's one correction. I think I said 92 completely wrong. They're 86, okay? The other thing is about, and you can see I turned all these over. Back in the 70s, 80s, actually, let me go back to 60s. There was a lot of products made in Hong Kong that they were made by a company called Star Merchandising. I have a piece here that I incorrectly told you was Alan Mitchell, but I want to show you this real close. Hopefully I can, let's see. Actually, the star has been, it should say Star Merchandising. I have other ones of these, but I want to tell you something about this. So the original maker of this is called Star Merchandising. They're out of Hong Kong. And what they would do is they would make the candy products for American companies. So take a company like, I really want to make sure today I show you what I'm talking about. Okay, see Alan Mitchell? So Alan Mitchell did not make this airplane. What they did is they called, or whatever, Hong Kong, and Star Merchandising made this. So with a lot of the novelty candies from the 80s, if you look on the bottom, if you see the companies like Alan Mitchell, B International, so I can get you in there, Lamberger, if you see those companies, they mostly were using Star Merchandising products. And they were having this company in China print their labels. So remember, I also told you Alan Mitchell's always a yellow label. I was actually wrong about that. But if you look at the labels, they're very similar. And that's because Star Merchandising, if you look at the Star Merchandising label from Hong Kong, it's very similar. That's because these people in China were printing these labels for the companies. And they would put whatever company you are on their label for you before they shipped them from China. And I want you to look at this this logo here. So I'm trying to get the camera where you can see it clearly. Now, there's a book here that I use a lot. I'm friends with these people who wrote this Candy Novelty book. But if you go up here to this Alan Mitchell, it's called a double-decker bus. It says here, made in Hong Kong and a star-shaped mark for Alan Mitchell. Well, that's actually an error. This star logo, if you ever see it, it's not an A with the M mixed together to make a star. It actually says SM for Star Merchandising. So I have never seen an Alan Mitchell logo. I've never seen a logo for Limburger either. But anyway, if you ever see the star, that's for the original Hong Kong factory called Star Merchandising. So just to clear some things up, I made two mistakes last week. I said the trademark for Sweet Expressions was, I think I said 92. I can't remember what I said. It's 86. These are all from 86. And then I wrongly gave the wrong company for a few of these. But the main thing you just need to know is these were all made in the same factory. These were made in these are all Star Merchandising, but some companies distribute them in the U.S. Okay, I've got a few things I'm going to share with you that just came in. Don't worry, we're going to open a few things too. Let's see what else. Oh, this is how this cleaned up. And oh, let me show you my Bazooka gum discovery. I make discoveries all the time with this stuff because you got to understand. You see me open this stuff. I get good stuff. I get bad stuff. I get the whole range. Most collectors, they only go after one thing and they know what they're getting. That's why you're hunting it, right? You know what you want, right? So you know the name of it, right? Well, sometimes I get big boxes full of this shit and it's got crap in it. Well, that helps me see the entire product. I see the low stuff and I see the amazing stuff, right? So it allows me to make discoveries. So if you look at Bazooka Joe comics, these are from 1988. I made a Garbage Pail Kid discovery. I don't know if it's ever been pointed out before. Here it is. So if you look at this comic, it has a Garbage Pail Kid Atom Bomb t-shirt ad on it, but yet it's on a Bazooka Joe gum comic. Also have another one here on a different comic. But I thought it was really cool because, it's Garbage Pail Kids. So I'm pretty sure I can date these to 1988. So I guess if you go online and you find some Bazooka Joe, I can't even say it, Bazooka Joe gum comics, look for the 88s because I think that's what these are from. There was an 88 Bazooka Joe line is what it was. And it should have Garbage Pail Kid ads on them, dude. So these are the only two I have, I think. This is all I was able to find. And this was just me just going through them, man. Just looking at the shit. It's just cool what you can discover. So I've got to ask my boys in the groups if they've ever seen that before. We're not talking any value here, but it's just something cool, right? And one more thing before we open these two items. I had a guy reach out to me on eBay, and he told me, I'm going to take you in here. He told me one of my listings was wrong, and I think it led to like a low-key discovery. So I'm going to take you in this bin here. This is just one of numerous bins. This one is actually one I can fit under a guest bed. Actually, I'm going to have to put you down. I can't even reach in there. Give me 1 second. This one should be pretty cool, though. Yeah, this is my life. It's just a madhouse. But this is just one of the bins. Oh, here we go. Yeah, it deals with an Amaral Chew Bops of all things. It should be in this stack, so I'm actually gonna put all this shit back. Okay. We're gonna get settled down here, okay? All right, so he said one of my listings said Amaral, but it's not Amaral. And what's cool is it's supposed to be Amaral. So I have a Weird Company chew bop. Anyway, I thought I'd just share these for fun. So if you don't know, these were made by Amaral back in the early to mid 80s. They used to have a piece of bubble gum that was in the shape of a record. But what was so cool was they were taking actual record covers, album covers. So this is literally Robert Palmer's album cover, printed on a little miniature sleeve, like an album, right? But it had bubble gum. And so these are very collectible, right? The Brothers Johnson, this one's sealed, still has its bubblegum disc in there. Southside Johnny. I don't have many good ones because I've sold them all. The Knack. You can also see they get stained pretty easily. Be careful if you ever buy these. Chew bops are very prone to staining because the little piece of bubble gum is not wrapped. It's raw inside of this. And so if it ever gets wet, of course, it's going to bleed out. This is actually a very cool one, Blondie, but it has the candy stain. And we're coming up to the one in question. But just so you know, so on the back it should say Chew Bops, and down here it should say Amaral, which is an Illinois company. Here's the Kinks. Okay, here's the one. So I have a Beatles one. Luckily it's sealed perfect, Beatles 65. But if you look on the back, there's nothing about Chew Bops on the back. And if you go down here to the maker, there's nothing about Amaral. It says Album Graphics, Incorporated. So I've got to do some research. I did a little research already, and I can't find any pictures of these anywhere. I've never seen any that didn't say Chew Bops on them. And so I'm pretty excited about that. So that's just another discovery. Okay, let's go ahead and see what came in the mail today. Put some of this crap up. And I'll do a little review at the end, like I always do, to kind of share what's been presented. How about that? All right. It's a little dismal, to be honest. Again, dealing with some pretty severe money problems. And the thing is, it's almost Christmas, so this year might be a wrap. I'm going to try to get some of the new Garbage Pail Kids that comes out next week. I might order some blasters or something. But I just can't spend much money. Okay, first thing. Now, this item I got caught with. I don't know if you've ever been caught on eBay. So if you don't know what that means, it's when you place a bid on something, not thinking you're going to actually win it, and then you forget about it, and then you realize sometimes too, like a couple days later than it should, that you won it, and that the buyer wants you to pay for it. That's what happened here. I got caught with an item. Luckily, it was only for $5. I thought it was going to go for like hundreds. Here it is. So this is an early 20th century. I don't know the date. I don't want to get crucified by my friends, but I want to, like, it's old, man. It definitely smells old. I bought it. I don't typically deal with chocolate items much. It's just one of the boundaries I've had to create in my life. I just can't do a lot of chocolate items. They're not typically very cool, to be honest. But obviously this one is a Hershey chocolate Eat More's. So it was some sort of novelty candy, Hershey bites or something, early 20th century. I don't know a thing about it. It's just a tube, basically. All right. Great. Don't know what to do with it. Okay. Yeah, it completely does not go with anything else I have. And then this is the last thing I have to share today. And I'll go over a little review with you. Wow, this is a nice little box, man. I can really appreciate packing boxes. Oh, this is from my friend there. I'm not going to share that. Oh, look at that. Very cool. Problem is, she's a vintage novelty candy collector, so I'm not sure this is fresh. No, I'm sure it is. Yeah, if you get candy from me, it's no telling if it's fresh or not, right? Yeah, this is pretty cool. This is probably late 80s or something. Okay. Let's get it out and I'll tell you about it. God, what is it with Swell? They just never have dates, any sort of clue. Okay, anyway, this is a Swell, which is Philadelphia company. Anyway, Monster Truck Tires candy. So it has a pretty amazing mascot, monster guy on a monster truck. Makes sense, right? And the novelty candy is a massive candy tart in the shape of a monster truck tire. I did not have this. And this is certainly an item you would leave sealed because the candy is so novelty. It's so charming that you would always want to keep the candy in here. So, you know, there's some items, it doesn't matter if you take the candy out, but this is obviously one of those that you would always want to keep the candy with it because it just adds to the charm. Plus, this is a candy tart, so it's never going to melt. It's not going to mess up. The worst thing that can happen is it can become a powder and like just kind of disintegrate. But this thing is solid, man. They're pretty cool, man. I can't imagine a young child putting this big candy tart in their mouth, but I reckon they did. Yeah, I'm looking everywhere for a date. Swell is notorious for not dating anything. There's just nothing to be found. Okay. All right, let's do a little review. Today it's been all over the place, but I cleared up 2 mistakes. Sweet Expressions candy line are from 86. I'm also curious what else is out there because they made some really tight, cute little novelty candies. They are a little grandma-ish, you know, something I think an aunt or grandma would like, but I like them. The skate's particularly cute. Also discovered, by the way, these are called Sweet Skates. So it actually has a item or product name I never knew. Also discovered that Bazooka Joe comics sometimes have Garbage Pail Kid ads on them, and now I'm going to go on a frenzy to find more. Also corrected another mistake, the whole dilemma with Star merchandising products. I pointed out that this is actually a Star merchandising logo, which was labeled in a published book as being Alan Mitchell when this actually has an S and an M, which is Star Merchandising. I know who made this. And they made all this stuff. Also showed you some things that were cleaned up from last week. How this turned out. Really pretty. Things like this are all clean now. And also show you the discovery that a guy on eBay pointed out that this is not Amaral. This is made by some strange company I've got to get to the bottom of. This is not Chew Bops. It's supposed to be Chew Bops. This album was never part of the Chew Bops line either. So I might have a pretty nice prize on my hand here. Not for sale. And then we got some shit in the mail. Got an early 20th century Eatmore's Hershey chocolate tube. Empty, of course. Great condition, actually. A little stinky, actually. That's the bad thing. And then got a 80s, late 80s, maybe early 90s. Who knows? Swell Monster Truck Tires candy with a massive golf ball size candy tart. A true choking hazard. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed at least some of that. Get out there, search some Bazooka Joe comics. That's probably the best discovery of the day. What else is out there? You gotta look at this stuff really close. See you guys in the next one. Russ Fan